Hello students. In earlier class, we have discussed about biodiversity. So we have also discussed about conservation of biodiversity. So conservation of biodiversity means protecting the diversity of plants and animals that are affected by human activities as all the species are interconnected to each other. So biodiversity conservation, there are two methods. One is our in situ conservation and another is our ex situ conservation. So let us know what is in situ conservation. So in situ conservation means conservation of the species in their natural habitat. That means if we conserve the species in their own habitat, in their natural place where they exist naturally, that is known as our in situ conservation. So in situ conservation requires the identification and protection of natural areas that have high biodiversity. So in situ conservation, it is not necessary that it should be natural always. It can be artificial also. It can be man-made also. So man-made places where which is very rich in biodiversity, they can also be used as our in situ conservation of biodiversity. So examples of in situ conservation is national park, biosphere reserve, sanctuaries, and national natural lakes. So these are some of the examples of in situ conservation. Now coming to ex situ conservation. So ex situ conservation means conservation of the species outside their natural habitat. So when we will take the animals outside their animals or plants, if we take them outside their natural habitat and work for their conservation, then those those method of conservation is known as ex situ conservation. So in situ conservation is basically natural and ex situ conservation is basically artificial process of conservation. So examples of ex situ conservation are conservation of seed in seed bank, conservation of any animals, birds in zoo, conservation of plants in botanical garden and domestic garden, domestic animals, etc. So these are some of the ex situ conservation of biodiversity in zoo, then botanical garden. Our next topic is India as a mega diversity nation. So before this, let us discuss the biogeographic regions of India. You see, India is both geologically and biologically rich. To be biologically rich, it means India has variety of species of plants and animals. To be geologically rich, it means it has many forests, it has grasslands, it has rivers, wetlands, mountains, and hills, in which specific plants and animals exist. So our country, India, can be conveniently divided into 10 major regions based on the geographic climate and patterns of vegetation. So on the basis of the animals and plants found on the basis of the climate, our India can be divided into 10 geographic regions. That is our first region is our cold mountain snow-covered trans-Himalayan regions of Ladakh, where there is very scarce vegetation. Vegetation is very low in the snow-covered regions of the Himalayas. Next is the Himalayan ranges and valleys of Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Assam, and northeastern states. Next is the Terai region where Just below the Himalayan ranges, there is a Tarai region where these rivers they come out from the hills and they flow towards the lowland. Our next region is the Gangetic and Brahmaputra plains. The plains where the Ganga and the Brahmaputra flow and they make the region very fertile. Next is the third desert of Rajasthan. Next is the desert of Rajasthan, which is very dry climatic atmosphere. Next is the semi-arid grassland region of the Deccan Plateau, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. That is the Deccan Plateau, which comprises of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Next is the northeastern states of India. Next is the Western Ghats in Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Kerala. Next is our Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Next is our the long western and eastern coast belt with sandy beaches, forests, and mangroves. So these are the biogeographic regions of India. Now let us discuss about our next topic, that is India as a mega diversity nation. So, before we discuss about India as a mega diversity region, let us know a little bit about the history of the formation of Indian continent. So many million years ago, when the earth many million years ago, there was actually only one landmass, only one single landmass in the entire world. Okay. Now, after 70 million years ago, this landmass got divided into two continents. That is our northern continent and southern continent. Northern continent was known as Laurasia, and southern continent was known as Gondwana land. So our India was a part of Gondwana land, which also comprised of Africa, Antarctica, and Australia. So see, there are tectonic plates in the earth which keep on moving at a slow rate. There are some tectonic plates in the earth which keep on moving at a very slow rate. So when they are due to the tectonic movement, what happened? These two continents, the Gondwana land and Laurasia, it got separated as a sea called the Thai Sea. There is a sea named the Thai Sea which came in between these continents. So as it came between these continents, the Indian subcontinent it started moving towards the equator. That means it started becoming part of Laurasia and started separating from Gondwana land, that is the southern continent. So as India started moving towards the equator, started separating from the Gondwana land, many animals from Europe, many animals from Africa and Australia, they migrated to our Indian subcontinent. So India was once a region which was surrounded by this continent, Australia, Africa, Europe. So there was migration of animals in between these continents. So this is the region behind the biodiversity of India. So India is one of the 12 mega diversity regions of our. Which is one of the 12 mega diversity countries in the world and possess two hotspots. Hotspots means those areas which are very rich in biodiversity. So India is first in top 10 to 15 biologically rich regions. It has 350 different mammals, 1,700 different species of birds, 45,000 different species of plants, and among these 45,000 species of plants, 18% of the plants are endemic. Endemic means the plants, some of the plants which are found in India are not found anywhere else in the world. India occupies 2.4% of the world's land area and contributes 8% of the world's diversity. So India has also developed cultivation process, by the process of agriculture, as we have civilized, we have developed many crop species. So we have now 166 crop species and 223 species, 220 species of the wild relation. Wild relation means so we have made hybrid species also by allowing breeding between two plant species. We have formed hybrid populations of crops also. So that is how India is a mega diversity region. India, as I said, India has two biodiversity hotspots. One is our eastern Himalayas and western Ghats. So this is a map which shows the biologically rich regions of India. So there are four biologically rich regions of India: Himalayas, Northeast India, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and Western Ghats. So earlier there were four biodiversity hotspots, but now we generally call these Eastern Himalayas and Western Ghats as our hotspots. So as I say that hotspots are those regions which are very much rich in biodiversity, and there is also one criteria to um, there is also one criteria for biodiversity, that is, these biodiversity regions are very much vulnerable. That means these varieties of plants and animals are now at danger because of human activities, deforestation. They are losing their habitat and their population is decreasing. So these biodiversity regions is under threat. So these are the some differences that you can go for this chapter. So that's all for today's class. Thank you.